The home sale process can be intimidating if it's been a while since you bought or sold a home, or maybe this is your first home sale. I've broken the home sale process down into 11 easy steps. Number 1, sign the listing agreement and disclosures. This is where you and your realtor will determine the price of the home when it goes live, the commissions, what is included and what is excluded from the sale of your home. For example, the curtains, the appliances, the washer and dryer, things like that. And then the disclosures are going to include the lead-based paint disclosure if your home is of a certain age, your square footage disclosure, your closing instructions, and your seller's property disclosure. Those will all be signed up front, so you don't have to worry about them when you go under contract. Number 2, prepping your home for sale. I have an entire video about that, which I'll leave at the end of this video, so you can check that out. But basically what you're gonna do is you're going to get rid of all of the clutter, anything personal, and just start packing right now because you're moving anyway. Number 3, professional photography. This is a service I always provide to my clients because it makes such a huge difference. You want to put your best foot forward, and how you can do that is with professional photography. They can do the bathroom shots without actually being in the mirror. They will set the toilet seat down so that won't be open. I mean, you've seen those crazy photos, right? Or it'll be too dark or whatever. So the photos will actually look like your home and maybe just a slight bit better, so that people will come in and take a look at your fabulous home. Number 4, your listing's live now, so be prepared to leave at a moment's notice. In fact, the first weekend that your house is on the market, you ought to just plan on being gone, because hopefully you'll be having showings back to back and offers by the end of the weekend. Number 6, contract negotiation. If we price the house right, and we've done all the good prepping, you may have multiple offers. This is where we'll go through the offers and pick the one that is most likely to close, which may not always be the highest price. Number 7, now you're under contract. May or may not be a Monday or Tuesday after we've reviewed the offers and signed one and got all the signatures. Now you can take a little bit of a breath, but there's still several steps left. Number 8, inspection. If your buyer has waived the inspection objection, sailing right through this, unless something comes up of grave concern. A grave concern could be something structural or something of that importance. In that case, once that's been disclosed, you now know that that's a problem, and it'll have to be disclosed to all future buyers. So it's best to deal with it right now before these particular buyers back out. In the past, inspections have been used to renegotiate the contract price. In hot market, that's not necessarily the case, but just be advised that this is another point of negotiations. Number 9, the appraisal. We're hoping, keeping our fingers crossed, saying a prayer that the appraisal comes in at least at the value that the contract is. If the appraisal comes in higher, you will never know, because the buyer pays for the appraisal, not you. And the buyer's agent's not going to say, whoa, it came in $10,000 over what they paid. They're not going to tell you that. Now, if the appraisal comes in under and they paid the appraisal gap, there's no worries. But when the appraisal comes in under and they didn't pay the appraisal gap, then you have to negotiate who's going to pay for what, who's going to pay for the gap, or maybe you're going to split it. Number 10, moving. You may have moved before listing, you may have moved during listing, maybe you have a lease back option, but at some point you're going to move. So it's part of the selling process. Typically, the sellers move a couple days before closing so that they can come in and get the place cleaned and make sure everything is perfectly set for the walkthrough, which is usually right before closing. And finally, number 11, closing day. Everyone's happy. The sellers are happy, they're getting their funds. The buyers are happy because they're buying your fabulous house. The realtors are happy because the home selling process has come to a conclusion and they're getting paid. And everyone's in a good mood. If you've had a very difficult transaction, sometimes the buyers and the sellers, they don't want to close together because they're mad at each other, and that's okay. Now, however you want to do the closing, we will work it out for you. If you're doing a remote closing, we can do that. If you want to do an in-home closing, we can do that. If you want to meet the buyers, that can happen too, as long as the buyers are cooperating. We can accommodate however you want to handle the closing. Those are the 11 steps of the home sale process. If you'd like a downloadable timeline, please click this link here. Until next time, this is Jan Parrish. Go forth and be fabulous.